I'm Rowena from McMorgan Next Practice Marketing. And so now I'd like to bring all the pieces together that we've talked about in this video series, which is all around CX for C-Suite. Now, the most important thing is to recognize that customer experience is bringing the customer into your organization. And we need to do that because the bar has been raised and there's a significant gap, particularly for legacy businesses, between what we think we're doing in terms of customer experience and the reality. Let's also recognize there's a second piece around culture, which is how do you bring the culture from the inside out? And when you have customer experience and culture working together with synchronicity, then you really have a business with momentum, a way to not only better meet the customer, but a way around how through your culture. But let's focus just on the CX piece, which is what we've been talking about today. We've shared with you a strategic framework around how to make this happen. Not give lip service to it, but to actually do it. So the first thing was around outputs. And how do you actually define the CX metrics for success? We talked about the new CX metrics versus business health and also shareholder return, and how do you bring them together? We also looked at behavioral economics, which is all around how do you identify the behavior and attitude change you need from your customers, and what are those initiatives that will actually deliver that? And that's the future. That's what we want to get to. The question then is how. So we also talked about tasks. Now, I know that all of you can define scope, charters, tasks, but what we talked about here was how do we give space to move to customer experience? How do we reduce the current number of tasks, which are currently taking up more than 100% of your capacity, make them 80% of your capacity, and give 20% for creating the future? And to do that, you need to be able to find the right people with the right mindset of figuring out that future business model. That way, the tasks you've defined will actually get done. So once you've got your tasks identified, then how do you move into capabilities? So capabilities are not one thing. And we talked about the capability ladder, which was all around how to go all the way from current state with your current teams, all the way up to a new way of working, and how to drive the business impact by layering all those pieces. We also talked about change capability and how to go from a business that knows exactly what it's doing to creating a new way of working that will actually then realize growth. How to make that messy, hard period that often results in failure successful. And that's through the 1-9-90 ratio. And then finally, last but not least, we talked about structure. How do you set your teams up for success in a way that's going to help them deliver the outputs you need? And then rather than just rushing into it and thinking about the current people and who maybe could do this, how to approach that strategically, thinking through your design principles, looking at different scenarios, and then assessing what is going to be strategically helpful to achieving your future. So rather than starting here, which is what often happens, we start over here and we work backwards, because then we're actually setting ourselves up to deliver customer experience rather than just talk about it. Hi, it's me again. If you enjoyed this video series, then maybe you want to think about coming to one of our training programs, because not only do we go into a lot more detail around the frameworks that you've seen, we actually provide live examples, real case studies, and role plays so that you actually understand exactly how to do this back in your job. So don't delay, come and join us. We would love to see you there.